Welcome to our first show for the spring semester. I'm Cordell Wright.
And I'm Marissa Liu.
If I'm not mistaken, you'll be graduating at the end of the semester, won't you?
Yeah, I am.
Excited for that?
Yeah, I'm really excited, as long as it gets warm by then. Yeah.
Hopefully.
It's been a crazy winter in South Dakota and across the country as a whole, from heavy snowfall in Washington to ice storms in Michigan. Vessel reporter Colin Meffert tells us more about this wild weather.
Classes were canceled for the University of Sioux Falls on the first day of spring semester due to record-breaking cold. Other areas in the U.S. have also endured some crazy winter weather, and USF student Tucker Stout describes how his hometown experienced some very heavy snowfall.
I'm from Spokane, Washington, and the whole Pacific Northwest had a huge snowpocalypse, I guess one would call it. I've been talking to a lot of my friends and seeing a lot of stuff through Twitter, Instagram, and seeing how much snow they got. At first, when they were supposed to have the snow, it wasn't like that major, and then all of a sudden they're getting like a foot of snow. Up in the mountains, they had 48 inches in 48 hours.
Wes Anthony, a USF student from Grand Falls, Michigan, says how his family has seen some crazy weather this winter.
So last week, my parents called me and it was raining. It's kind of weird, middle of January. 2 days later, everything froze. Like it was sheets of ice everywhere. Really bad car accidents on all the highways. Really dangerous conditions. It's like an ice storm. My parents didn't have power for like 3 days over the past weekend.
The weird weather has led to a lot of cancellations of schools in these areas.
But colleges were getting canceled. I know Washington State got canceled. My high school and all the high schools around the Spokane area were canceled. So it's been kind of like, it's been really weird to see all these people getting to just chill out and have snow days. Back when I was there, we never had that. So it's kind of jealous a little bit, I could say.
And then if we have multiple days of snow, my nephews and nieces have had 8 or 9 snow days. So, I mean, Michigan does take care of not making people drive if they don't think it's necessary, especially when it's really dangerous and really icy out there for a week strong.
For the Vessel Online, I'm Colin Meffert.
Hopefully, spring is right around the corner.
Speaking of spring, USF students are excited to have a whole week off. We asked a couple students what their plans are for spring break.
For spring break, I'm going back home to Nebraska.
For spring break, I'm going to Denver with some of my friends. We're going to spend 5 days and 4 nights. I think we're going to do some shopping, maybe go hiking, all that fun stuff.
Walking, maybe skateboarding if it's not snowing outside.
What I'm doing for spring break is I'm taking a road trip with 2 of my friends and we're going down to Utah.
I think I'm just going to go home and help my parents move into their new house, and that's probably it.
Again, if it's not snowing, I'll probably be golfing.
I am going to the Black Hills to go hiking, go to Crazy Horse and Mount Rushmore and see some family.
A whole lot of nothing. I'm going to be here, probably watching some movies, playing video games, working out. That's about it, really.
A bunch of eating. I like to cook, so I'll be cooking like a madman. So my spring break will be pretty chill.
Any big plans coming up for spring break, Marissa?
Not really, just stay inside where it's warm.
That's the best kind of plan.
Yeah.
We'll be right back after these messages.
I work in the Infant 1 classroom at our MB South location. So a typical day for me is based on each individual kiddo and their routines. It's very fast-paced, it's very busy, but it's also very exciting.
We have full-time and part-time care for kiddos 4 weeks to 5 years old in our child care program.
MB is a very tight-knit community, from the families that we service every single day to the employees that we work with.
The standard for MB is that every child, we know them by name, we know their families by name, and we're really interactive with our environment, both with each other as staff members and then with our families. That, for me, sets MB apart.
Not only does MB offer great medical, dental, and vision benefits, but they also give their employees great discounts on childcare for their own children, as well as the ability to accrue sick time and vacation time, which is very important for families. That time can be very valuable. My children attend MB, and they love going to MB. Every single day they ask me if it's an MB day, even on the weekends, and they're extremely disappointed when I tell them they have to stay home with their mom.
We're looking for people who love kids. That has to be the first priority. We also want people who are good team members, who are willing to step up and help each other out and really communicate well with our families and with each other. That's a huge benefit for me when I'm looking for childcare workers. I just want somebody who's going to be a good fit with our team and love our kiddos and love our families. Come in ready to work. Come in ready to get on the floor and roll around and be silly and have fun. I think that we're fortunate in our environment that we are able to have fun at work. Like, we're able to laugh and dress up and be silly, and I think that that's something that's super important to do. And as a new childcare worker, come in ready to kind of get dirty and get on the floor and have a bit of fun.
I love my job.
I love my job.
Welcome back. Norden Pass is a USF student musical group. Media Studies senior Wes Johnson is producing a music video for them for their song called Wildly. With band members Micah and Tuaka talked about a kind of music video they wanted and how they wanted to look and feel. Johnson says this is Norden Pass's first professional music video and he's really enjoying the process.
I feel like my skills have kind of grown through like self-exploration. I wanted to see what I like before I started to see how to do it. So I watched a bunch of just music videos, highlight tapes, interviews, stuff that I'm interested in, and found what I liked from each piece and kind of like compiled that in my brain. And then as I started to figure out how to use different softwares such as Premiere and After Effects, I knew what I wanted it to look like. So it made me learning certain skills a lot easier and a lot more streamlined.
You can see the music video Wildly on the Norden Pass YouTube page. We'll be right back.
I'm Mike Bauman, and I coordinate for Bread Break, our food harvest here at Messiah New Hope. And Jean and I helped started about 7 years ago, and it's grown to be a pretty major agency in Sioux Falls as far as getting food to those who need it. The concept is there's lots of food overproduced, and it's perfectly good food. And there's a challenge getting it from the restaurants or whoever's produced it to an agency or a group that needs it, that can utilize it. And so the whole concept is just to be able to transport, pick up, transport, and get the food to where it can be used. So it doesn't go to waste, doesn't go in the dumpster.
We love partnering with Bread Break because we love how they spread it all around in the community. It's not just to one organization, but they serve so many different organizations here within Sioux Falls.
The uniqueness of Bread Break is that they can come to us and give it to a wide variety of those in need instead of just one single organization. And Breadsmith really is a community partner. We want to help the community, and by donating our leftover bread, it gives us that opportunity.
The restaurants all really appreciate, I think, that we are consistently doing this for them, and they enjoy doing it. The ones who provide the food recognize this is an important thing to do, and so for them it's been a big plus too.
So it's March, that means basketball. What team are you rooting for?
I know when tournament comes around, I'm always rooting for Duke. College basketball fans, March Madness is the pinnacle of their basketball season. Premier teams from across the country compete in a single elimination tournament for the right to be national champions. Even with the elite teams being the favorites, nothing is set in stone because in the tournament, anything can happen. We talked with multiple students on campus about the tournament, and they all had one thing in common.
Everybody makes this a big deal, but I want to see what Zion Williamson can do in that tournament, and hopefully he's healthy for that, so that'll be interesting to see.
If Zion Williamson. Duke with Zion.
Of a high flyer before getting
Look out!
Just the athletes they have is just so superior.
No, but this team, look out. Get out of the way, Jay.
I think Duke is definitely my favorite team to watch.
With Duke being the fan favorite, tune in March 17th through April 8th to find out who wins this year's tournament. I know I'll be paying attention and watching a lot of Duke games.
I won't.
Not a big basketball fan?
I don't understand it.
All right, well, that's all that time we have for today. Tune in to the next show coming up soon. Thanks for watching.